Yo, we've got this day 29 feedback loop form. I'd like to, at the beginning of every single week, show you how to do this once again. This is a really important tool for us to understand what we know and what we don't know. And you've got to tell me what you don't know so that I can help you to know it. All right, so let's take a look. If I were a student, I would put my name right here, Mr. Surface. And then right down here, which parts of the social standard below could you use some help with unpacking? Check all that apply. I will be able to tell when my instructor is trying to build learning momentum. Just like these soapbox derby cars coming down this hill, momentum is the way that we move forward. And sometimes ideas are more complicated than 20 seconds. Sometimes it takes 40 seconds, if not 2 minutes, to explain something. And if your attention span is only 30 seconds long, then you're never going to get the full explanation and you'll never know things the way they need to be learned since you're now a sophisticated seventh grader and no longer a little sixth grader or fifth grader, right? We need to understand more complicated things, and we can't do that unless we get a chance to really run at it, to review what we know, to think about what we don't, right? To learn something new, to see if we understand it, to check again for understanding, and then apply it on our own or talk and tell somebody how to explain it better to us, right? That's our job. So, build, I understand what it is to build learning momentum. You might not know that word momentum. Learning, you know, and what do you mean by build momentum or build learning? Something to think about. All right. Which parts of the standard below could you use some help unpacking? Check all that apply. I will be able to analyze characterization. Well, I may have forgotten what analyze means. I might have forgotten what characterization means. Contrast, I might remember, but major versus minor is still something I don't quite grasp. Description, I know what that is. Direct and indirect, and inferences, all things I might need a review for. Oh, here we go. It's Vocaroo time. How do you do this, Mr. Surface? I'm going to show you right now. First, you take a look. I will be able to analyze characterization, and I'll know I'm doing a good job analyzing characterization because I'll be able to identify character traits and contrast major and minor conflicts and look closely at description and compare direct and indirect characterization and make inferences. That's how I can tell I can analyze characterization with the sophistication required of me as a seventh grader, right? So how can I put that in my own words? Well, it's time to struggle to do so. First, I click the vocaroo.com. Boop. Then the internet slowly braces itself to do my will. And then I click the microphone and it starts recording. Every little thing that I say or sing is now recorded. So I go back over to this and I say, all right, I start with this red sentence over here. I should be able to read something and analyze, pick apart, understand maybe. Again, I'm doing an impression of a seventh grader. I know it all. Uh, Characterization. I see the word character in there, but I don't know what characterization is. Is that when you list characters? I'm not sure. And I know character traits like sad or happy, I think, but major minor conflicts, no idea. Look closely at description. I guess I know what a description is. Direct and indirect, I've heard before, but couldn't tell you what they mean. And inferences, he talks about them a lot, but he doesn't explain it enough, that Mr. Surface, right? So that's my sample of the sort of things that you might say. You try to put the objective in your own words. Then you go back over to Vocaroo right here. You click it. Then you click the big glowing button. Then you click save and share. Bop. Then it produces a screen that looks like this. And you go right next to that address and you click the two squares on top of each other. Bop, bop. And then you go back over here. And then underneath the objective, you put that web address with a control V paste, right? We've done it before. We're doing it again. We're doing it every day. That certainly will not change. Then a little piece of the test about characterization based on the story that we may have read or not read since it's only Monday. We're just getting this news now. All right. So while not having read the story, this future test question can tell you a lot about how to think about today's learning objective for future thinking. Check all of the words and phrases that seem important or relevant. Well, let's look at the question. Read the following passage from Mom and Me and Mom, then answer the question. When we descended the train steps, I looked for someone who could be my mother. When I heard my grandmother's voice call out, I followed the voice and knew she had made a mistake. But the pretty little woman with the red lips and high heels came running to my grandmother. What type of characterization does the author use to describe her mother? A. She uses direct characterization because she names specific details to tell how her mother looks. B. She uses indirect characterization because readers must infer that her mother is attractive. C. She uses direct characterization because she leaves her mother's appearance unknown to the reader. Or D. She uses indirect characterization because her mother's appearance is revealed through other people's words and actions. Well, if you don't know characterization, you might click that. It seems important. If you don't know the difference between direct and indirect characterization, I would definitely click those. A character's appearance seems important here. Their action seems important here. The words that are chosen to describe them by the narrator or the author seem important here. And wow, they all seem important. So I ended up clicking them all. All right, then I started my comedy assignment that's worth 50 points. I always give you that one on Monday, if not earlier. And, I started that maybe around 8:15, and I finished up, since it was a longer one this week, I finished up around 8:50. And then I would click next. Well, booyah, Grandpa, I've made it to the second part. Now, this is after class. Section 2 is to be filled out after class. When, you say? After class, okay? So, class is over. Mr. Surface gave it his all. Now we're going to try to put the objective in our own words again. So I go up here to Vocaroo once again, and then I click Vocaroo. And it takes me to that site, and I click this again. And now that I have the benefit of instruction up here and fresh in my brain, I'll say, I should be able to read something and, right, those red words on the left, I should be able to read something and break down a character's personality. One way I can do that is the author might just come out and say, direct characterization, that a character has a particular personality. For example, Ursula is manipulative from Little Mermaid. And indirect characterization is when the character does something that tells you that she's manipulative. So Ursula tricked Ariel into giving up her voice. And she goes, mine, and takes it, right? And we realize, ooh, that Ursula's manipulative, and ooh, that Ariel is gullible, and ooh, that crab is a great singer, right? All of those things, minus the crab, show us details that tell us about a character's personality. Okay. Contrast in major and minor conflicts. Oh yeah. Yeah, major means important, minor means less important. And description is exactly what it sounds like. There's a description of a character or how a character feels when they see another character, and we learn about their personality and the person they're describing's personality, depending upon how reliable the narrator is. So I would go back to Vocaroo. I'd click on that minute and 33 seconds of brilliance. I would click save and share once again. I would click the two boxes on top of each other once again. I would go back over to the Google form once again. Boom. How did Mr. Surface do today? Today's objective. I will need much more support with today's objective, or I feel that I've mastered all parts of today's objective. Well, I'll put it right in the middle. He tried his best, but gosh darn it, he could do even better. Anything that he really needs to know? Sure. Keep up the good work, you cool person. Whenever you use two adjectives back to back, you put a comma in between. Otherwise, you got to use a conjunction like you cool and cool person. But I think cool person with a comma in between just sounds cooler. And that's the type of thing a cool person would observe. And then I would submit the form. It would say your response has been recorded, and I would go, Oh, look at all these different faces up here. Oh, I wonder if they're supposed to describe personality. I wonder if little like details like that are all over Mr. Surface's work. Hmm. Yeah, they are because he loves his job and he loves when you learn.